Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable. Viewer discretion advised.
All right, we have some breaking news right now that we are tracking. We are hearing about a possible pursuit happening right now on the 14. We have SkyCal overhead trying to maneuver and locate this pursuit. We have our assignment desk manager, Mark Liu, here at the desk. You just got off the phone right now, Mark. Oh my gosh, you can see how fast that car is going. That is so dangerous.
Kalina, this is one of the fastest pursuits that we have seen in a while. Plus 120, 130 miles an hour now on the southbound freeway. I believe this is the southbound 405 freeway here. It was on the 14 when we first caught up with it. It has gone through the Newhall Pass, through Sylmar, now down into the valley, passing through North Hills. CHP is in pursuit of this white sedan. They initially called it a Lexus, then they called it a Kia. We don't know how many people are inside this car, but it is driving at extremely high speeds on the southbound 405 freeway right now. Very reckless in all lanes. We don't know the want yet on this, but we know that the pursuit started up in the Escondido Canyon area in Agua Dulce on the southbound 14 just about 15 minutes ago. And this driver, whoever it is, has gone from the Agua Dulce area here into the North Hills Panorama City area in less than 15 minutes at extremely high speeds. Now we are seeing a little bit more stable driving here in the HOV lane of the southbound 405. There were CHP units behind it, lights and sirens. I also see an airship overhead as they try to catch this driver. As you see him, very dangerous, weaving in and out of traffic. Now, SkyCal is now, going right in between two vehicles there in the HOV lane and the number 4 lane, just squeezing. You can see the desperate moves that this driver is making to try and get away from the CHP units behind him right now. SkyCal goes at about 110 miles an hour, and you can see we are now behind this vehicle trying to catch up. It has slowed a little bit because of the traffic, but I heard the CHP officers here, Kalina, say that we were looking at 100. Wow! A wild move and a crash into the center divider.
Oh my gosh,
that car making
horrible.
a huge collision, debris going everywhere.
Wow.
I did not see it collide with any other vehicles, but now it looks like that white vehicle very clearly disabled here in the center divider, right in the Panorama City area. This is just to the east of Van Nuys Airport on the 405, and you can see drivers slowing down to see if everyone is okay, but that was a hard collision. It looked like he was just swerving way too hard, and I apologize if we've lost this signal here. We are working to get that back from SkyCal, but coming out live to me, I can tell you that CHP we have the signal back now. We apologize for that transmission interruption.
You can't see anyone moving in there. You can't see any movement whatsoever. That car just, flew across the roadway, smashed right into that center divider with such force and such impact, because you were tracking speeds of what? More than 100 miles per hour?
130 is what CHP was calling out on the radio. It looks like now there's movement inside that car. Someone trying to get out of the passenger side of that white sedan that CHP was chasing. It looks like perhaps a Good Samaritan has stopped to check on whether or not anyone is injured in that car. I do not see any CHP vehicles here coming up behind, which is curious because we did see them, lights and sirens, just about 10 minutes ago as they were trailing this. There you can see it again, that very hard hit on the right side of your screen just moments ago as this fleeing driver struck the center divider on the southbound 405. I want to say this is right around Roscoe, just south of the Roscoe off-ramp. A very hard hit. I'm sure anyone in that vehicle was deeply rattled by that. We don't know how many people were inside, but now you can see people slowing down. There was just debris that was shot all over. Now, Kalina, I know you're monitoring some of this. There must be a traffic backup now because of what's going on here on the 405. What can you tell me over there?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But also, you had mentioned that we can't see any officers coming up behind. When you have someone driving that recklessly, they have to also take precaution themselves, right? So you had someone who was just going around the area just so crazy where they just have to be careful themselves. And this is another person that we saw people kind of slow down to look over what was going on. This could also be another possible Good Samaritan trying to see if that person, this driver, is okay, not really knowing what the situation is like right now. And I'm sure we have several people calling on ambulances because of how heavy that smash was, even though this is, of course, a pursuit. As far as the traffic is concerned, we are just seeing the slowing through that area there. And there you can see the officers' guns drawn there. Mark, have you learned learned anything else about this, slamming that car door shut too?
Yeah, we can see these are the first CHP units on scene. It looks like they're opening, they're trying to get in, guns drawn here. There is just 2 CHP officers very aggressively approaching this vehicle. I'm sure that the Good Samaritans are very confused as to what's going on here, but they're understanding that this is a law enforcement situation now. So they're going to try and extricate this driver here, take them out of the vehicle. Now we're seeing one person, it looks like a man, coming out with their hands up out of the driver's side of that white sedan there now. And again, if you're just joining us, you can see that incredibly hard hit that this pursuit vehicle just struck the center divider on the southbound 405 freeway right here in the Van Nuys. I'd say it's the Van Nuys area as just a few minutes ago. And it looks like there is only one person inside of that car. They're being taken into custody now. They certainly were able to get out on their own. Perhaps they don't need any serious medical treatment, but that was a very hard hit, Kalina. Very fortunate that vehicle did not flip because it was traveling far over the speed limit on the 405, and that could have been much more disastrous. I don't see any evidence that any other cars were hit in that accident.
I mean, I guess we just have to wait and see, but I feel like that vehicle just barely missed a lot of the other cars that were on the road right at that time. Luckily for those other cars too, because we would never want anyone to get hit. But when we first took this, Mark, I could not believe the speed, the rate of speed this person was driving. It was so reckless. It's so dangerous. I mean, luckily it's not the morning commute or the afternoon commute. So traffic conditions out on the actual freeway weren't that bad. So you weren't going to be stuck in any type of congestion or have a heavy volume overall. But regardless, I mean, it's the 405 freeway. That's one of the most traveled freeways in Southern California. So it could have been way more dangerous than it has turned out to be, specifically just for this driver itself. But so far, like you said, you can see the officers come in. You have that passenger come out of that vehicle there. We have more officers looking like they're showing up. That person is standing, so I'm not quite sure of any injuries. But I'm not sure if maybe that could have been the person in the front seat of the driver's seat that then crawled over, if there possibly is another person in the car. Mark is shaking his head, telling me there's no one else in the car. So this is just the person they were looking for and they were chasing.
I believe this is the only person in that vehicle. That's the driver. You can see no attention now being paid to that vehicle. There is clearly no one else in that vehicle that either needs medical attention or is a possible suspect in this pursuit. But you're right, this driver engaging in some of the highest speeds that we have seen in a high-speed pursuit in recent memory, and also weaving in and out of traffic at those high speeds on the 405. Really a miracle that no one was struck, but it does look like also, miraculously, this pursuit driver not injured. There is no call for service here for a rescue ambulance, and it appears this suspect is standing on their own. They are being searched now by CHP in handcuffs. They will be taken to the nearest CHP office. This was their pursuit. So we are still working to get a want on this vehicle. Certainly speed and felony evading is going to be the charges this driver is facing, but we have a crew at the assignment desk working to get some more information. But it looks like this is going to be a code 4 as 2 CHP units take this driver into custody now, Kalina.